actions are going to affect which Trump policies?
So, as you said, Biden is planning to sign more than a dozen executive orders on his very first day in office, right after he's sworn in, reversing some major Trump policies, as you've mentioned. Let's focus on COVID first. Biden wants to rejoin the World Health Organization, which Trump withdrew from in July last year. In terms of climate, Biden wants to rejoin the Paris Climate Accord, which Trump also withdrew from. Biden also wants to revoke the permit for the Keystone XL pipeline. That's a major oil and gas pipeline. Trump had approved it. In terms of immigration, Biden wants to end a travel ban on 7 majority Muslim countries. That was a travel ban that was one of the first executive orders that Trump signed upon taking office in 2017. Biden also wants to end the national emergency that finances the border wall. Trump, of course, declared that national emergency, and that was Trump's big campaign promise to build this border wall along the southern border with U.S. and Mexico. And Biden also wants to reverse a plan to exclude undocumented immigrants from the census. That was something that the Trump administration had pushed for, and that would have actually had broad implications for Congress because it's the census every 10 years that counts how many people live in each state. That determines how many representatives each state has in Congress and how many members that state has for the Electoral College, electoral votes. So those are what Biden would like to reverse with those executive orders.
So what about bigger, greater legislation? What might we see in the coming months?
Yeah, so executive orders are often statements of intent. They can often be symbolic, but in order to have any major policy change, you, of course, have to pass through Congress. So the first thing Biden wants to do, he said attacking COVID is his top priority. He has a $1.9 trillion COVID relief package. And in that package, there's $20 billion he would like to spend on a national vaccine program, $350 billion he would like to allocate to state and local governments for their frontline workers, for county health agencies. And he would also like to increase individual payments, $1,400 checks and individual payments that would complement the $600 in individual payments that was agreed to in the COVID relief package we saw in December. That would also include extending unemployment benefits, an eviction moratorium. So that is a big piece of legislation that Biden wants to bring during his first days in office. And after that, we've also seen that Biden wants to bring an immigration reform plan to Congress. And that legislation would like to provide a pathway to citizenship for the 11 million undocumented immigrants living in the country. It would restore and expand programs for refugees and asylum seekers that Trump and his administration sought to reduce. So that is the big legislation that he's going to bring to Congress.